I was not born with anything in my hands, no inheritance, no protection, no shortcuts hidden in my story, only silence, rejection, and the quiet pressure of knowing that if something did not change, I would remain invisible forever. This is where prosperity either dies or is born. Not when opportunities appear, but when you realize there are none coming from people. Urgency presses here because time does not pause for those without help. Scarcity sharpens every decision. Fear whispers the same question every night. What if prosperity is not meant for people like me? That fear is not random. It is designed to stop you before faith forms. Psalm 112 does not speak to the privileged. It speaks to the righteous who learned to stand when nothing supported them. It was written for the man and the woman, the son and the daughter, who never had a head start but refused to surrender their reverence. This is prosperity without inheritance, stability without lineage, favor without permission. I learned early that lack humiliates, but it also reveals. It exposes whether you will compromise your soul to escape pain or fear God when nothing rewards you. This is where Moses enters the story, not as a leader, but as an abandoned child, rejected by systems, underestimated by everyone who looked at his beginnings. If you feel the weight of having started at zero, stay. This message will decide whether your past remains a sentence or becomes the foundation God uses to establish something that cannot be shaken. Blessed is the man. Why prosperity starts with fear of God, not opportunity. I learned that prosperity collapses when it is built on opportunity alone. Opportunities shift, people leave, systems fail. Psalm 112 opens with a warning disguised as a blessing. Blessed is the man who fears the Lord, not the man who finds the right door, not the woman who meets the right people. Fear of God is the only inheritance that cannot be stolen. Those who chase opportunity without reverence build fast and fall faster. They rise when conditions favor them and collapse when pressure changes. Fear of God creates a different structure. It anchors decisions, it filters shortcuts, it disciplines desire. Reverence builds stability where talent alone creates exposure. Moses had no family system to rely on, no lineage to protect him. His stability did not come from advantage. It came from obedience in obscurity. While others were positioned by privilege, he was formed by reverence. That reverence replaced everything he lacked. Here is the twist that changes perspective. Lack of opportunity is not disqualification. It is insulation. It protects you from building something your character cannot sustain. Fear of God slows you down long enough to build what pressure cannot destroy. Many sons and daughters feel behind because they never had access. But reverence compensates for what opportunity never provided. It attracts favor without corruption. It produces prosperity without anxiety. It creates confidence that does not depend on applause. If you never had anything, fear of God is not a consolation prize. It is the greatest asset you could ever possess. Prosperity that begins there does not rise fast, but it stands forever. Wealth and riches are in his house. How God builds prosperity in silence. I learned that God builds prosperity where no one is watching. Psalm 112 says, wealth and riches are in his house, not in the streets, not in applause, not in public validation. This kind of prosperity grows quietly, dangerously invisible to those who measure success by noise. Silence is not absence, it is construction. Those who never had anything often feel delayed because nothing seems to move. Years pass, effort looks wasted, recognition never comes. But what looks like stagnation is often formation. God hides the process, so pride cannot sabotage the result. When prosperity is built in silence, it is protected from comparison, envy, and premature exposure. Moses lived decades in obscurity. No title, no audience, no confirmation. From the outside, nothing was happening. Inside, everything was being prepared. Authority was forming, discipline was settling, identity was being purified. Prosperity was being built without money, without position, without permission. Here is the plot twist that reframes your frustration. Public success without private formation destroys people. Silence saves them. God delays visibility not to deny prosperity, but to ensure it survives when it arrives. Those who never had anything are often trusted with silence because they are less likely to confuse blessing with identity. Many sons and daughters grow impatient in quiet seasons and assume they are forgotten. They rush the process. They chase exposure. They force doors. That urgency creates fragile success. Psalm 112 reveals a different path. Prosperity that begins in the house, in character, in obedience, in unseen faithfulness. If your life feels quiet right now, resist the fear that nothing is happening. Silence is not rejection. It is God building something strong enough to last. Wealth and riches formed that do not depend on trends, systems, or approval. They stand because God established them where no one could interfere. He is not afraid of bad news. Why those who never had anything become unbreakable. I learned that fear loses its power when you have already survived without guarantees. Psalm 112 says, "The righteous is not afraid of bad news." This is not optimism. This is resilience formed in scarcity. Those who never had anything learn early that stability does not come from circumstances. It comes from trust, anchored deeper than events. Bad news terrifies people who built their confidence on comfort. A market shift, a rejection, a loss, and everything collapses. But those who grew up without safety nets understand something different. They know how to endure. They know how to adapt. They know how to stand when outcomes are uncertain. Lack trained them before prosperity ever appeared. Moses knew instability long before leadership. Exile taught him how to survive without applause. The desert taught him how to walk without confirmation. That past did not disqualify him. It prepared him. When pressure came later, fear had no authority because uncertainty was familiar territory. Here is the psychological shift many miss. If you never had anything, bad news does not define you. It only reveals what was never your source. Fear thrives where identity is attached to possessions. It collapses where identity is rooted in righteousness. Psalm 112 describes a heart that is steady because it is anchored, not because it is protected. Many sons and daughters fear losing what they finally gained because they remember how hard it was to survive without it. But the truth is this: what God builds on righteousness cannot be destroyed by news, numbers, or narratives. Your past lack already proved your capacity to endure. If fear has been rising every time uncertainty appears, recognize what it is exposing. You are stronger than you think. You are not fragile. You are trained. Prosperity rooted in resilience does not collapse under pressure. It stands firm because it was formed where fear could not survive. He distributes freely, while generosity flows from empty hands. I learned that generosity is not born from excess. It is born from trust. Psalm 112 reveals something that confuses the world. The one who never had anything learns to give without fear, not because they have much, but because they know where provision truly comes from. Empty hands that trust God are never afraid of releasing. Those who grew up lacking understand value differently. They know what it means to stretch. They know what it costs to share, and that history trains a heart that does not cling. Prosperity begins to mature when lack no longer controls behavior, when fear stops dictating decisions, when generosity becomes identity, not strategy. Moses gave before receiving reward. He gave leadership when no one respected him. He gave patience to a people who complained. He gave intercession when blame surrounded him. None of this was paid immediately. Yet generosity positioned him for authority that could not be bought. Giving became proof that lack no longer governed him. Here is the turning point many resist. Generosity exposes whether prosperity has begun internally. You can have resources and still be ruled by fear. You can have little and still walk in freedom. Psalm 112 describes generosity as evidence of righteousness, not wealth. It reveals a heart that trusts God more than what it holds. Many sons and daughters hesitate to give because they remember seasons of emptiness. They protect what they have because they fear returning to nothing. That fear keeps prosperity immature. When generosity flows, fear breaks. When fear breaks, continuity begins. If you have been holding tightly, ask yourself why. Not to condemn, but to discern. Prosperity that God establishes does not shrink when shared. It multiplies because it is rooted in trust, not accumulation. Empty hands that give are already full of the right foundation. His righteousness endures forever, prosperity that cannot be taken. I learned that real prosperity is proven by endurance. Psalm 112 does not end with abundance. It ends with permanence. His righteousness endures forever. That is the difference between what God establishes and what the world applauds. Anything built on trends fades. Anything rooted in righteousness remains. Those who never had anything fear losing what they finally touch. That fear is understandable. When you start from nothing, loss feels personal, but Psalm 112 reframes everything. Prosperity anchored in righteousness is not fragile. It is not dependent on seasons, people, systems, or approval. It stands because God stands behind it. Moses experienced betrayal, opposition, and misunderstanding. People questioned his authority. Systems tried to replace him. Pressure never stopped. Yet what God established through him endured because it was rooted in obedience, not recognition. Prosperity that comes from righteousness does not require constant defense. It outlives the noise. Here is the decisive moment. Prosperity is not proven by how fast you rise, but by what survives when everything shakes. Righteousness produces stability that cannot be confiscated. When identity is settled, fear loses power. When fear loses power, prosperity becomes sustainable. Now is the moment to seal alignment. Write this prophetic phrase in the comments as an act of agreement and spiritual authority. Prosperity is established in my life by righteousness, not by what I never had. Write it with intention. Words create boundaries. Declarations establish direction. If this message spoke to you, like the video and subscribe to the channel. This helps YouTube understand that this content is safe and allows this word to reach other men and women, sons and daughters who started with nothing and are questioning their future. Your action extends what God is doing here. Do not leave yet. Alignment is sealed through prayer. Pray with me now. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.